Hey everyone, Reyan here from the BBQ and Brews show. Welcome to the final episode. Mark, how you doing?
Oh, really good. Oh, glad that you're back this time. I was a bit worried last time. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
it was just sort of like Wayne's World, where I was Garth and just sat there and, oh no!
Yeah, I totally screwed up the music there. I'm sorry about that. Apologies. But cool. Mate, so, massive show. The influencers, if you want to know what an influencer does, where they live, and what they eat, this is the show for you today. So thanks for joining in. Yeah, it's like four corners, but we're just going to be talking influencers all day. Basically, we've got Chris the Smoker Baker coming on, John from Aussie Q Barbecue, Aaron from Low and Slow Basics, and Corey and Leon from Cheap Meats, who are a couple of hours behind at the moment, so waiting for them to hit the studio. So far, so not there, but that's all right. But before we get started, Mark, we're going to kick off with some sponsors, mate. What is your rub of the week?
Well, I've been a bit sneaky because I kept saying fire curry, but I really want to keep pushing the salts because the salts are really good. So if you haven't tried, he's got a nice range of salts now, and they go on everything. And so I've just been chucking it on, chips, and
ice cream.
I feel like a good, martini might go, So
that's awesome. I don't know. I've got a couple that haven't. You may not have heard of these guys, but it's the Low and Slow Basics rubs. There. I don't know.
No, never heard of them.
Steak shooter and garlic oil. So apparently, apparently these are bloody amazing. So. Check this out at therubsociety.com.au. So that's actually the sponsor, not the Rubs. RFTRS for 10% discount. I think I know how this all works on the last episode for the season. But yeah, great rubs. And I think these come in a 3 or 4 pack as well. So check out Aaron's rubs. That sounds wrong. And what are you drinking today, my friend?
I've gone the Bow and Head Bitter. Always a good one.
Hey,
finished one of my favorites.
I'm hitting the red ale. So
the red ale is also good.
Yeah, it's a good one. The Island. So I'll crack it open, but I think we should get our guests in, get to know them a little bit better. So without a further ado, I'm just going to go in no particular order. He is Aaron from Low and Slow Basics. Welcome.
Hey, how are you?
Good, mate. Good. Thanks for coming on. I'm just going to get Chris in too from the Smoker Baker. What are you drinking?
That looks fancy.
That's very fancy. John from Aussie Q. Hey, mate. Welcome.
Hey.
And I'll just, cool. Here we go. Corey and Leon. We made it. Welcome, gents.
Nice and cozy.
Fitting this screen together.
Oh, mate, got to get your hair sorted. This is good. Did you get the meat that you were after?
Oh, mate, don't ask. 5 briskets, 100 and whatever sausages, 200 chicken wings, pork to still get. So,
and that's just the family coming over, right?
Yeah, that's Leon's family, sure. Busy time.
Awesome, guys. We can't go too far ahead without asking what everyone's drinking. So maybe we'll start with you, John. What are you drinking, mate?
Okay, just a Corona minus lime.
Hey,
you hear that?
That's all right.
Here we go. Corona minus lime. Nice and simple.
All right. How about you, Aaron?
We are Pirate Life South Coast.
Oh, man, I did not see that coming. I don't know
There you go.
Yeah, no idea.
Can't go wrong.
Can't go wrong. Chris, how about you, mate?
I'm doing a Long Island iced tea.
Oh, yes. I like this stuff.
Yeah.
Barbecue
Where's
cocktails
mine?
show. I love it.
Well, come
You're
over.
supposed to be here, Chris.
And Corey and Leon, how you boys doing? What are you drinking?
I just grabbed out of the beer fridge. We got one of the Black Forest Dark Sours from Pirate Life as well. We got a couple of cubes of that last week for Masterclass. So it's actually really good. It smells very like a dark beer, but it definitely doesn't taste like that. So it's sort of deceiving. Very good.
Oh, that's good.
Don't be racist, man. Don't be racist, bro.
All right.
Look, before we get into the nitty gritty of social media and, I guess everything around the platforms and things like that, I want to get to know you guys a little bit better and sort of get an intro to each of you. Now, John, you're probably the only one who hasn't been on the show before, so I might start with you if that's all right. But give us the intro, mate. How did you get started? What got you to where you are today?
I probably started cooking / barbecuing, I guess, maybe 20 odd years ago. When I joined the army, so I left home, knee-high to grasshopper, all that sort of good stuff. But it really didn't take off for me, probably in the barbecue side of the house, till about, I don't know, maybe 5 or so years ago. That's when I met Matt Logie. He's also in the army, and he's part of the Smoking Sappers barbecue team.
Oh, yeah.
And usual stuff, he was showing me some meat porn on his phone, and I just got fully addicted from there. And it just really started to steamroll, got into the socials, Instagram, etc. Hit TikTok in the last couple of years, and then that progressed into the barbecue business side of things with the rubs and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm here for a good time, not a long time. So there's a nice little compression of 20 years of cooking.
Yeah.
And now here on this bloody podcast. There we go.
Veteran, absolute veteran.
Awesome. Quite literally, and yeah, thanks for your service too, mate. Can't go past without saying that, mate. It's Aaron. Let's go with you, mate. It's obviously you're surrounded by barbecues behind you. Give us the lowdown for people that have never heard of you before.
So yeah, what got me into barbecuing? My background is a qualified butcher, so I wanted to educate my customers on the meat I was selling them and how to cook it. What started inside, sort of in the kitchen, progressed to gas barbecues, and then my first barbecue was a charcoal rotisserie, and then it progressed into everything you sort of see these days. And then I've always loved teaching others, passing on knowledge, and that's where the YouTube channel came in. And yeah, that's me in short.
That's it, mate. Corey and Leon, obviously some of the craziest videos out there when it comes to barbecue. You boys drop is amazing. How did you get started? Give us one. I might ask you.
I feel like he hasn't spoken much for once, so
Yeah, go. Actually, yeah, that's probably fair point.
Give him a chance.
I'll put the kettle on.
he doesn't need a chance.
I just come here for the kebab. Where's the kebab? Did you go?
Right, I've already eaten it, man. Come on, man.
All right, mate, because I had one for lunch today.
Did you?
Yeah, had to. We started about 4.5 years ago. Me and Corey have always had this fascination of American barbecue meats. I don't know. I think the first one we ever got was there's a little cheap rotisseries from Bunnings. They're $79 ones. We used to put like a little bit of pork on there, a little leg of lamb shoulder, and just sit there watching this thing rotate for like 5-6 hours. So we've always loved cooking meat, and then we slowly digressed to the kettles, and I think we started with burgers, taking a few photos and getting a bit of attraction, and then all of a sudden we jumped on the meat, and then it just snowballed. And you know what? We've blinked, and mate, 4 or 5 years later, look where we've come.
That's awesome, man. And look, and that's amazing. And especially, I think probably in the last 2 or probably year and a half, you guys just went like gangbusters, right?
Reels was good. Reels was good to us. I think we went through that at Meatstock.
Yeah.
Social media platforms bring out new things. The best thing to do is start utilizing them, and that's obviously changed between TikTok and Instagram and everything. That's changed the social media landscape in a huge way. And you sort of either get with the times and push content out in the way that the platforms are lending themselves to that, I guess, or you sort of reject it and just sort of slow down a bit. It's still been like hard. It's definitely a push. So we've had really good sort of 3-4 months, and then you sort of have a slow period where everything slows down a bit, but you just got to keep on pushing, and you sort of get out the other side and take off again, which I feel like it's been pretty good at the moment.
That's awesome. Hey, how about you, Chris? Lucky last.
Yeah, I've told this story a few times, so I'll keep it relatively brief. But yeah, it was my just passion for eating that got me started. I went
passion for eating.
Yeah, passion for eating. I went to a mate's house just for a barbecue. He was cooking some shit steaks. Doesn't know how to cook, but that's not the story. I met a guy there, and he had went to Black Bear Barbecue over in Blacktown. Yeah. And he had a feed there, and he was just raving on about how good this meat was, and juicy briskets and beef ribs and pork, everything you can imagine. I'm sitting there salivating because, I'm always thinking about my stomach first. So that was on a Sunday. And then on the Tuesday, I took the missus over to Black Bear. We went in the morning. I tried to get breakfast because I was serving pork belly for breakfast. It was pork belly with eggs, I think. But I missed breakfast, man. I got there at 10:30. I missed the breakfast. I ended up getting I don't know. I got everything they got. $180 worth of food in a big box. I went home. I smashed it. The next day, I went to Barbecues Galore. I bought a Pro Smoke offset smoker,
Nice.
and I just started from there, man. It was 4 years ago, and I wasn't posting anything. Actually, I think the first thing I posted was a rack of short ribs, but I was mainly doing desserts. I was more doing ice creams.
Yeah.
I was showing a mate of mine a video that I just taken, not for socials. I don't think I was on socials at the time, but I took a video of an ice cream cake that I'd made, and I was pouring a mirror glaze over the top. And he was just going, "Oh man, that looks amazing! You got to post this stuff on Instagram." And I'm like, "I don't even have Instagram. I didn't know anything about it." So then that was the next venture. I jumped on Instagram, started posting. Went really shit for like 3 years. Just like really for me over this year on Instagram alone, this year has been a cracker for me. It's just everything sort of slotted into place, and I sort of understand the platform a lot better than what I used to. And obviously you improve as you go through the process. So, like in terms of video creations and editing and all that sort of stuff. So you just automatically get better. So yeah, it's been good. It's been good.
That's awesome.
Well, Aaron, we might jump in with you and start with YouTube. So, tell us a bit about, how you find the platform and how did you sort of grow your audience on YouTube as a platform?
Sorry, that was for me. It cut out.
Yeah.
You, Aaron.
Yeah, so for me, it's been like consistency is key. I really love YouTube as a platform because you can get all the analytics you need. They literally tell you where you're going wrong, where people are clicking out of your video, like what your view duration is, like any possible analytic you can find, they've got it. And it's just a great platform. You've got to be really consistent. The algorithm works really well on there. You can get into some really popular search terms, which I've been fortunate enough to get into, but I haven't missed an upload schedule in the 4 years I've been on YouTube. It's been every Sunday, 8 a.m. for 4 years, and then I've sort of built around that. So consistency's been real key for YouTube. I know it is on all the platforms, but especially YouTube and the way the algorithm works. But it's a great platform. It's the OG sort of video platform. Great for the long form tutorial style videos, and they're obviously switching to shorts now, which has been a challenge in itself, trying to break into there. I know, Chris, you've had quite a bit of success with our shorts.
Yeah,
but
he's gone crazy on there.
That's YouTube for me. Yeah, I've always loved it just because it's the best platform for me and the way I like to teach what I do.
And do you get the same?
How many followers do you have now on YouTube, Aaron?
Sorry,
I'm just overtaking here. How many followers on YouTube do you have? How many subs?
I think we're getting to 80,000 subs, and I've really found like YouTube is the hardest platform to grow. Like, there's so many other creators, not even in the barbecue niche, that just always said they've got like 500,000 followers on all the other platforms, and they just can't figure out how to grow the YouTube. But yeah, for me, it's always like I said, inconsistency. No, even like the fitness guys, there's a lot of fitness creators that just have a couple of million on TikTok and stuff. And
that's story in there.
And you're finding there's a community there as well, though. So, like, I find Instagram, there's that big community there where you get the sort of comments and the communication with people. You find the same thing on YouTube?
Yeah, I reckon the community on YouTube's a lot better. I think because it's an older audience, you get a lot less trolls on there. People are there to learn. I find TikTok, Instagram, you get a lot of trolls on there and just weird sort of comments. But really, that's another good thing about YouTube is, like you've highlighted, the community on there's a lot better.
I feel like
Chris wanted to jump in and mention about trolls on TikTok.
Loyalty of subscribers on YouTube is second to none over any other platform. Like if you're looking to release a cookbook or anything, conversion rate on YouTube is 11 out of 10.
Yeah, right.
Other socials. So
I just
can we see that along with the flow-on effect when I'm selling rubs and even for Oklahoma Joe's with the barbecues? The amount of comments I get on my videos saying, "Oh, I've bought your rubs, I've bought Oklahoma Joe's because of you." I don't see them types of comments on TikTok and Instagram.
Yeah,
that's true, man.
Cheers to that.
And now, I suppose Corey Leon, you started
Still
on
got the
Instagram,
nuts
didn't
out.
you?
Still relax.
He's still flexing.
Settle down, bro. Settle down.
Guns away.
Put it back in the armory.
Guns away.
Got a permit for those, mate. Corey Leon, you guys started initially on Instagram, I think, wasn't it?
Instagram was our first platform, yeah.
And what I mean, I guess what drew you to Instagram, and then I suppose from there you've gone across a few different platforms. You've gone obviously massive reach in TikTok as well. And what drew you to, I guess, Instagram initially?
It was photos. We started with photos because Instagram platform was really photos first. So
that's sort of where we built traction pretty quickly. Like even if you're looking at, like, you know, early on we did some sort of gangbuster cooks that had some really big reshares. Like we were shared on, which we still get every now and then, like Food Network and Lad Bible and 9gag and all of that. And when you've got, you know, under 10,000 followers, that's a huge thing when you're reaching 5-10 million follower pages. So I think that sort of gave us a pretty good little boost. But it's almost like the more you grow as your own platform, your reshare rate goes down quite a bit. So if you're looking at these big channels that reshare barbecue videos, there's no real incentive for them, which we still get a little bit, but there's no real incentive for them to share a video you've done if 1 million people have already seen it on your page. So it's almost
gotcha.
Smaller creators that have had less eyes on content. But we blew up, I guess, on Instagram pretty quick over like a year time frame, and decided you either go, you can't be bothered, or go all in and cook 3, 4, 5 times a week in the middle of the weeks, Fridays, weekends. So
I reckon we'll come to the content stuff too later, because you always have all of you have a very, very tight schedule with how you cook and stuff like that. So I reckon that'd be interesting. But are you finding, the platforms, like in the sense of, obviously Instagram you started, you went to TikTok, where are you finding the community? Where are you finding the most?
Instagram would still definitely be where the
for
community
businesses,
for business, for content agreements and stuff like that. Depending on what the business or brand that's trying to build their brand awareness is, there's still more value in Instagram and YouTube. 100%, there's still some there. But TikTok, as a beef company or a producer-driven business, to see value in TikTok still, I think it's still early days. It'll get there, but we still don't make. We've had one video on TikTok, which was, I guess, a paid sponsored post. But apart from that, our bread and butter is still Instagram.
Right. Okay. Cool.
And John, you started on TikTok, so how did you find that?
That was where I first cracked off about 5 years ago. But in terms of, like, if you want to gauge success by engagement, definitely TikTok. Probably the last 2 years, it's been quite good to me. I've had like multiple brand deals in there, Weber and all that sort of good stuff. I think the one thing that I like from a creator perspective, which is really different to TikTok, is like you talk directly to them. Like I've had meetings with TikTok staff, video conferences like multiple times, but I don't know about anyone else, but I've never seen that with Instagram or maybe not even YouTube. So from a creative perspective, it's quite different in that regard. Like TikTok really engaged with their creators, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Quite different.
And I find I've sort of seen you do things where you'll go live, and I think a lot of you, Aaron, you started doing it on YouTube, going live. How do you find that, John? Like, I mean, I suppose we've gone live, we've done the show as a live on Instagram, hasn't really had that. The viewership or something wasn't there, but it seems like you get that, you have that in TikTok. You sort of have a few people watching you packing orders, for example.
Live part of it is massive. It's absolutely huge. I know there's some really weird stuff on there. Like you flip through the lives and you see people sleeping in the bed and they've got these neon lights and it wakes them up, and people are just donating like these ridiculous sums of money. But for me personally, like every time I go live, my biggest live is actually me cleaning my Weber, my gas Weber. Like I don't know how. I just thought, I'm just going to put this thing on. I was just having a beer, just literally cleaning my Weber, and there was hundreds of people asking just all kinds of different questions, generally cooking related. Some weirdos, but mostly, it's always been like there's a big live. It's quite massive.
And I suppose you too, Chris. I mean, you started with Instagram. I remember, first interviewing you back in probably 2020 sometime, I think it was roughly. That was on Instagram, and there was probably a few thousand followers and things like that. But what are you finding as your preferred platform? Do you prefer the Instagram, or do you like the talks? You say talks? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's sort of a love-hate relationship across all social media platforms for me.
Yeah.
I have the biggest following, obviously, on TikTok, but it's hard to know. It's hard to build a relationship with people on TikTok. I don't know who's commenting on my video. I don't know who's liking my video. Like I just don't know. And I don't know. Like I try and do my best at comments. I guess that's where you really sort of get the opportunity to sort of build rapport and build that sort of community. I think that's sort of key. I'm probably a little bit slack there, but yeah, I don't know. Instagram is where I started, so I've always felt like there's a stronger community on Instagram for me. And like Instagram stories, I try and focus a lot on stories, and I try and put a lot of quality into the stories, because that for me is the one area where I know the people that view my stories, they're super fans. They really respect what I do. They respect my passion. They admire it. They want to watch it. So I try and make sure I tailor it to them, and I use them as a sounding board. So I'll post things in my stories on Instagram, and if that sort of doesn't do well, I generally get a feeling it might not do well across multiple platforms.
Yeah,
so
right.
I might not post it, or I might re-edit it, recut it. But I try and gauge a lot of sort of research and info out of that sort of community that I have on IG stories.
It's a good way to test your audience as well.
Yeah.
I've done a little bit in the lead up to post, especially with reaction stickers now. You do, it's obviously not the final sort of edited video, but you do that finishing, especially pork or something like that, the bubbles of nothing. You give them a teaser and a reaction sticker, and they go mental. You sort of know you're onto a good thing.
I agree. Yeah, a lot to learn from your actual following, from your actual followers, as long as you engage with them, and I think they crave that, sort of that sense of building a community. Like, people say, oh, followers, it's just a number. No, it's not just a number, like that is a person behind that number that has actually given time to like and comment and save and share your videos. They deserve a certain amount of respect. Yeah.
So those followers, they're the ones that are going to generally, besides obviously your own interest, they're going to steer your content. If they're liking pork belly recipes, for argument's sake, Chris is going to be pounding out pork belly recipes because you like cooking it and they like watching them.
You can't do pork belly every single post. That's even us, mate. It's
it's the season, man. It's the season. What can I say?
Pork belly season.
Look, listen, this is, what it's like when you're really good at something, or when you're known for something. Everyone that comes to my house, what do you think they ask for? What's the one thing they want me to cook? You can't get away from it. You can't get away from it.
I made you do it.
He made me do it as well. And it's my wife's favorite dish. It's my get out of the doghouse dish. Every time you see pork belly, I'm in the shit, man. I mean,
you're in trouble a lot.
That's why you cook it 3-4 times a week.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, man, At least I do what she wants.
True.
And we'll leave it there. We got just a quick question from the people watching. So Sanford Sauce and Low and Slow saying, do you guys chase followers or just follow your craft with no concern of the growth? Which I think, Chris, you sort of mentioned, it's not just a number sort of thing game, but I guess open to anyone to jump in on that one.
I honestly chased hard, for my first 2,000 when I was just on Instagram. I was like trying to follow everyone, and I just started commenting and liking, and I just thought that was the way to do it. But I don't do that anymore. It's probably not the smartest way to do it either. You got to be genuine, just be genuine. You got to manage expectations at the same time. So, you just can't go around and follow everyone just for the sake of following everyone. And I don't want people to follow me just for the sake of following me. I want my followers to engage with me. I want them to like, comment, share. I'm a very insecure guy, so I need reassurance.
if you are watching, please jump on the Smoker Bakers socials and start liking while you're watching, please, just to get him through the night.
You have to create content that people can still do at home. So, and that's same thing. Us early on, we were about doing cheap meats is meant to be like a cheap meal, so it's larger than life barbecue cooks, which we started doing. Massive tomahawk prime rib roast and stuff like that. And we sort of tried to dial it back a bit, I reckon probably 2 years ago, where you're still doing cooks that they have that, for a teaser reel or something like that, they've got that high impact sort of hook at the start, but it's still something that people can follow along with at home and achieve themselves. Yeah. So it's a balance, that's for sure.
How are you, Aaron? Do you? I mean, I know you focus more on your content and delivering content that YouTube wants, it likes to share and grows that way. I suppose you're letting your content.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. Like back in early Instagram, there was this culture of like follow for follow or engagement groups and all that sort of stuff. But I haven't chased followers for a long time. I don't think that should be anyone's number one priority. Otherwise, you're going to get really let down if, for whatever reason, your posts don't hit, your reels don't hit, and people just don't follow you. Yeah, for me, my number one priority for creating content has always just been to educate others and grow barbecue. So, and the followers have just come with it. So you should always just be passionate about what you're doing, and the followers will come.
No, I absolutely agree. And before we leave, John, do you have anything to add?
If anything, I'd say I'm a comment chaser, which sort of leads on from like what everyone said, and in particular Chris. So if there's no comments, I'm like, well, obviously that's not the direction I want my videos going, because the whole reason for me making videos is to interact. It's just that goddamn simple. If I don't have the people commenting, which is the end result is followers, but if the people aren't commenting, well, I've done something wrong. So I would say I'm a comment chaser if I had to say anything. I want people in their comments. I want to have a chat to them. I want to find out what they want to learn from me. And that's the direction that I take.
No, I like that.
And I guess so everybody sort of, why not go with Facebook? Everyone sort of Instagram, TikTok. Why don't we look at Facebook as an option?
My biggest following at the start of my journey was Facebook by far. And as the years have gone on, to be openly and honest, Facebook has just turned into an absolutely terrible platform. They squash a lot of posts. A lot of posts get deleted. The community guidelines are terrible. And I've just stopped putting effort into Facebook because it's been terrible. That's just my personal preference. And I know a lot of other people have had the same issues, but yeah.
I think Chris has got something to say.
No, just like, tell us how you feel, man. Tell us how you feel. Facebook's shit. It is shit. Like, I hate it. I don't do nothing on Facebook. People message me on Messenger. I'm like, oh my God. Like, out of all the platforms,
just do it.
You choose Messenger. I get it. It's, I don't know. I feel like I'm not young. I'm not a spring chicken, but I feel like all the old people are on Facebook. Like, get off Facebook, man. It's not happening on Facebook. I don't tend to it. I don't like it. Nothing about it interests me. Get stuffed Facebook.
All right. This one's not going to do well on Facebook. Go really on. You guys the same, I assume?
They love it. They love Facebook. Here we go.
But I feel like before Instagram was obviously just integrating with Facebook. So when you'd put up a post, it would just go up on Facebook. Whereas now I feel like with Reels, it ends up on whatever Facebook version of this Explore. And I can see that in the insights, but it doesn't actually directly post on our page. So, I almost have to manually go through and post that on Facebook. And like we said, unfortunately, that's at the bottom of the priority list. By the time I've done it on Instagram, written copy, run some stories, gone to TikTok, reformatted that with some form of music, it's 11 o'clock at night. Like, it's almost not too hard basket, but it sort of is at the same time. So, and even with Aaron, he's got to do it with 3 platforms. So by the time you get to finishing that off, whether you schedule or not, it's a lot to do.
So where did the Facebook posts go? When you post on IG,
whatever the Explorer of Facebook
where's it going, bro?
Whatever it's called on Facebook, like Explore. I couldn't tell you because I don't bloody go on it as well.
So that's only. So you only start getting views. You only start getting views on Facebook if you hit the Explore page.
Whatever their version of it is.
Right.
Yeah, and some of the reels on there
you can just scroll on Facebook and look at videos. They pop up on there.
I'm never on it, so I have no idea.
It still doesn't directly link people, even if they see it on that Facebook Explore page, back to your Facebook page, because I haven't seen any
Yeah,
carry
Facebook.
on follow through that. Like,
It's terrible.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the final word from Aaron.
Short and
It's
sweet.
terrible.
Name
Let's,
got the boots.
You know what? Let's not even bring up Twitter, shall we? I think we just move
What
on
do you
from
mean?
that.
Elon's on Twitter now, bro. Elon's the beast.
I was always tempted
mate.
to get on there now. Elon's taken it over.
Absolutely, man. I'm waiting for the Donald Trump files to come out.
A whole different angle we can go on the show right now. But let's move on to creating content, because content creation has changed quite a bit. Obviously, everyone that sort of started with Instagram, it was always photos at the start, right? And photos did really well. If you had a real good photo, you did really well. Right now, photos are dead. But I guess you know, in your experiences, how has the creation of content changed over the last 2 or 3 years? And obviously, it's a big change going back 4 or 5 years ago. But maybe start with you, John. How you found like what you're creating now compared to what you created, you know, maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago.
The photo side of the things, like where obviously a lot of us started on Instagram. I've noticed, and I'm going to put a caveat onto it, except for the last 3 months, right? So probably about 18 months. There has been a huge shift into short, sharp, like real punchy sort of content. And that's mainly because of Reels on Instagram and probably TikTok. You know, obviously TikTok being one of the biggest platforms at the moment in terms of user base and all that sort of good stuff. Then it brings me to the last 3 months. I've noticed a definite shift going back towards longer form stuff. An example is, say, TikTok has gone from the 60-second videos, you can now upload 10-minute videos. And I did an experiment. I uploaded an 8-minute brisket tutorial, and that went crazy. Like one of my best videos, maybe all year. And that surprised the hell out of me. And there was so much engagement, sharing, comments, all that. And that really surprised me. So I definitely can see it in the last 3 months. People, I think, are sort of exhausted with that just explosive 60-second, 30-second kind of stuff. And they sort of want to take a step back now and take a breath and like engage and sort of suck in that 8 to 10, 12 minutes sort of stuff that you normally see on YouTube. But obviously, yeah, now it's vertical.
That's it. And look, probably a good point to bring up with what Sam Burke has mentioned here. You know, how do you, when you put a reel together, I might pushed it to you, Cheap Meats. I go with the boys from Cheap Meats anyway. You know, what's the ideal time to keep captivated? Obviously, you're saying the time difference changed. I've noticed that as well. There was a while there, especially on TikTok, where like 5-6 second videos were like going crazy, and I kind of got a fair bit of following, basically just following that trend for a bit.
I think that's practical anyway, though. Like if your watch time is better on a shorter format video, your reach is going to get up from that. So as long as if you've got 80% of the people watching 7 seconds, it's going to push that content out more. So
absolutely. And I think it just seems like trending music plays a huge part in it as well. Yep. Corey, Leon, do you guys follow that? Because I think Instagram has brought that in a little bit more now as well. They use that little arrow next to a song that's saying it's trending, and those seem to get a little bit of a better push, and same on TikTok as well. I
try and use it a little bit. I think, a big thing when I'm editing videos and then obviously prepping them for Reels is, people don't realize, and even when you're editing it, like everything in that content matters. So how much of that frame you're filling out in that video matters 110%. How much you're using that screen, where you're situating what you're cooking based around the like counts and comment counts on the side, your caption at the bottom. So you sort of need to almost be sitting up from the center so people can see that.
Yeah.
The timing on, like I can spend an hour and a half trying to find the right song that's going to fit with it so that it matches up with the timing of, your transitions and everything. So every little thing matters. Your cover photo then after that's going to sit on your page. Like it's a combination, I guess, of all of those things that sort of add up. So, and then it's reformatting content really so you can get bang for your buck. So you can do a teaser reel that might be a 15 to 20 second video of that hook, that final cut at the end, and then maybe some of the prep process. Yeah. Ideally having a loop so people almost can't see when that video started so they keep on watching. And then you might, we do it a lot, to be honest. It might be on a Wednesday night. We posted a pork cook or whatever that is with the final finished product. And then, stay tuned on Friday because we've got the full recipe coming your way. And then that's ideally under a minute. So I try and keep it to 50 seconds. But when you're trying to condense 10 minutes of video into 1 minute, it gets pretty hard.
Absolutely. And you sort of, are you finding that it's I don't know, like when you create these reels, and do you have a time that you release them in a week, or does that? I mean, you mentioned consistency, Aaron, in the sense of having obviously on YouTube, same time, same day every week. Do you find that sort of stuff help as well in sort of Instagram, Corey? Like, is that something that shows up?
In the perfect world, I'd have something new every night to post, but it does get hard as well trying to, have 7 new content pieces out a week. So doing that between like paid content agreements later on in the week and then finding stuff to mix that up as well, it does get a bit of a juggle. But yeah, it's finding that. But in the perfect world, I do an AM/PM post as well. But it's trying to find that, because we try and stick to original stuff as well. Obviously, even the guys here, we've shared some of their stuff on our posts because it's great to credit them and send some people their way as well. But yeah, when you're doing pork posts every single Friday night, if I've done a post on a Friday night and it gets to Wednesday and we've been too busy with other things and I haven't done anything yet, I need to start looking at doing a beef post or some seafood or something else to mix it up. Yeah. So yeah, it's a juggle, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
And Aaron, you spend a lot of time, sort of prepping your videos and producing your videos and getting them out there. So from sort of starting of having the concept of the video through to releasing it, how much time goes into actually producing that video?
I was actually talking with Reyan about this today. There's not as much as you think these days because I've been doing it for so long. But when I was starting out, there was a lot of planning, a lot of scripting, and the editing took forever. But now I've been doing it for a while. I'm able to shoot my videos in a way I know it's going to come out. So the editing is a lot easier. It's basically just trim, transition, and a little bit of color grading if it needs it, if the light's bad. And that's pretty much it. But yeah, for a beginner, it's a lot of work. It's very daunting. The editing takes hours and hours. But like I said, and it's like anything, when you've been doing it long enough, you get pretty efficient at it. So yeah.
It's instinct.
Yeah. I'm finding that myself more recently. I was creating some videos for a couple of barbecue companies, and I've gone from like filming everything to going like, you know what, I just need that, and that, and I know that's going to work together well for me. But
I don't know how
John,
you guys do it on your own. Like with me filming and him doing it, it's
mate, I think about that every single time. I mean, I know Aaron's probably the same, but I do the same thing. Even today, I'm like taking gloves off to like, like put something down, then picking up the meat, putting it in the right spot. Okay, putting the gloves off again.
Checking the videos framed out. You got to move it to the left a bit.
And you got the sun reflecting off this. I mean, I work purely on a phone, so I think you've got a proper camera, don't you, Aaron?
Yeah.
So I mean, and that's a whole nother step. You got to take it. Straight out. Yeah.
It's easier once you get a camera, because once you learn video editing on a computer, it's 10 times quicker than what you can do on your phone. For me, anyway. I know some people are really quick and efficient on a phone, but each to their own.
Now, John, when you create content, I've sort of scrolling through, watching a few of your videos. I'm sorry, I should have commented. Now I feel bad for not commenting. Such a jerk.
Classic.
Now you've got a few different styles, and obviously you've got the camera, and there's a little bit of playing off with different characters and things like that. There's a lot of innuendo in there as well, which I really enjoy. Do you take a lot? Do you plan a lot of those videos out, or is it something that just you go, I'm going to cook this, and then you just sort of you fly by the seat of your pants, so to speak, or how do you go?
How many of these I've had? Like that's to be perfectly honest. So like sometimes I will. Like I'll have some sort of a structure, like hit that point, hit that part of the cook, etc. But most of the time is probably spent in admin, taking off the gloves, because it's just me pretty much 90% of the time. Going behind the camera, press play, check, did that work? And that would add up to like an hour in itself. So, and I probably do it the hard way. So I use a Canon M50, right? And then I use my iPhone like as a second angle. And then I send by Bluetooth that footage to my phone and fully edit it and everything on the phone. Like it's a bit of a nightmare. I'm not going to lie. It's an absolute nightmare. And that's just because my computer crapped itself 2 years ago and I haven't replaced it. That's the honest behind it. So yeah, there's no rhyme or reason behind my content. You'll see, like you said, you'll see me, playing characters. Next minute, it's just straight tutorial. Next minute, it might just be, I'm not even in front of the camera. It's just whatever I feel. It feels good at the time, and that's why I'll
next minute, the drone's up in the sky.
Just following John around.
and he's jumping the fence, bro. He's jumping the fence.
Do you know how hard that is to control that myself and walk and look like I haven't got the phone in my hand controlling it? Nightmare scenario.
No, it's unreal, and I think that's the probably the key takeaway is like it isn't easy, but I think it's a matter of doing it and getting used to it, finding your own groove. Everyone sort of works slightly differently, and obviously Corey, Leon, you guys have each other, which really helps in that process.
I tell him what to do. And
I don't listen.
The bloopers are my favourite.
Again.
Time or twine? Twine or twine?
The problem is, we're normally shooting at we start filming 8, 9 o'clock at night, and then midnight we're still going. And he's
the one for tomorrow night, turkey inside pork belly roast. That was whatever.
Oh yeah, that looks bloody amazing.
I went to bed at 1 o'clock, so it's a big night. He gets up at 4 in the morning, so
So you're getting the best of what you got. That's the bottom line. It ain't getting any better.
Chris is like Inception. He's in the show and he's watching the show.
I can't help myself.
You can't shut him up.
I just want to talk, bro. If I'm not talking, I'm typing.
I'll ask you a question.
We know once you start talking, there's 10 minutes of the show gone.
So your sort of socials, the eye candy of the amazing things you put together. How did you, because you could do such a wide range, how did you sort of, pick your style and niche to what you're sort of producing now for when you saw the early days where you did really a lot of different things?
I was just, I don't know. I was doing a lot of different things early on, and I know a lot of things that I didn't work. There were things that I liked to cook. I thought they were good. I generally enjoy eating them, but to be honest, my video quality wasn't good, and my photos were even worse. So I couldn't take a good picture for the life of me. So Instagram was hard for me, when it was all about pictures. I couldn't do it. I had to buy a phone where, you got to take a photo and it's got a circle, to tell you where the best shot is. And then you press the button and you get the best shot. That was it. That was the best I can do. So when Instagram converted over and it was more about videos, I was already doing videos. I was already a year into shit videos. So I was learning editing because, look, I said it in the chat. If you want to grow on Instagram, especially Instagram, I wouldn't say photos are dead, but they're not great. So start focusing on videos, start editing, start learning, use your stories as a guide to practice and post that in your stories and see what sort of reaction you get. That's what I was doing because I couldn't take photos. So then I was just building up my expertise and skill level on editing and just the ability to edit, man. I'm even like up until recently, I've been reposting old videos because I know the video is actually good. I know the content is excellent.
Yeah.
I know the food is immaculate. Don't shake your head at me, bro. I can see it. But what was that?
Come up with some new shit.
The empanadas.
I'll cook you a kebab, man. I'll cook you a kebab, and then you'll be happy. But as your follower group grows, they haven't seen those videos, right? They haven't seen that content. So there's a lot of benefit from actually doing that, and the growth is explosive behind it. As long as the video is good and it's good quality, if it didn't have the reach back then, it doesn't say it's not going to have the reach in the future, all right? But yeah, it's just practice and editing. Got to practice editing. I'm still practicing. Just
while you're talking on that on editing and things like Chris, one of the questions there is, do you think you can film and release a video without editing and still be successful? No. I guess, okay. There we go. No. So let's move on from that one. I agree. I think you need to have
the final part of
if it's a pan or something,
that's the whole cook.
A little bit.
But
you're not the whole cook. Yeah.
It'll be 10 minutes long.
What do you mean? You're doing a whole video. It'd be like,
and I have to
4 hours.
cut all his swearing out in the midst of it as well.
No, it's about dead space. You know, like a video needs to have. You need to get rid of that dead space. This is where people go wrong. They do videos and they include stuff in the video that doesn't need to be there. I don't need to season. I don't need to see you season an entire brisket. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
We've had that in post. Leon, I've put Leon seasoning one side, and he hasn't flipped it. And that's 10 seconds gone, and people say, "How come you didn't season the other side?" Well,
yeah. I mean, there's only so much you can do. Like, but the point is, if you want to keep an audience engaged, you need to keep it moving. So, like nothing should be, for me, I go by a general rule. Nothing's longer than 1.5 seconds. Like no clip is longer than 1.5 seconds before the camera angle is changing or the shot is changing. You need to keep it moving. People have short attention span. Low and slow basics. My man Aaron over there will tell you 100%. The guy blitzed it. Like if this guy, I don't know, Corey and Leon, like I came to you guys a little bit late. You were already at 200,000, explosive. So I didn't really see you explode into that, but obviously seeing your videos, I know why. But Aaron, this year, just taught me those 7-second videos, those short clips. He punched it, man. Yeah, absolutely blitzed it. I just followed.
You need to watch your own videos back and just if you find yourself skipping through your own content, then trim it. One. Especially like you said, we live in an age where everyone's got a short attention span. If you watch your own video back and you're getting bored of a certain section, trim it or get rid of it.
Yeah. Or even better, the pub test, give it to your missus or give it to your friend to watch and watch their eyes. Don't watch the video, watch their eyes. When you see their eyes glaze, that part is shit. Cut it out, okay? Because they just lost focus. People get a bias over watching their own stuff. They think it's better than what it actually is. And that's where we all go wrong. Like, we've all done it. We all think, this post is going to go viral. It gets no views. That's
the best.
It gets no views, man.
Do you find you got to capture, and this is one of my many theories when it comes to reels, capturing someone in the first 2 seconds. Like, you've got to have something punchy in that first few seconds to capture them to where they can watch the rest. And then, and I mean, I totally agree with you, Chris. I think you need to have a rhythm of that. I like the 1.5. I sort of do the similar thing where just short and sharp changes between what you're doing. But yeah, do you guys all aim for that hook at the start? Silly question. This is a real silly question.
We do now. Probably in the last 6 months, we have properly.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. How about you, John?
String in front.
I don't hook all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I try and I definitely aim to do a hook. There's no denying that's for sure. But I'd say 9 times out of 10 you have to have a hook. But there's one creator, Andy Cooks. He's on Instagram, TikTok.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, who is this guy? 3.5 million followers on TikTok, right? But he doesn't really have a hook on most of his videos. It's just a style that he has.
He's just built a female.
Talk to the camera, open up a fridge. He's talking to his wife.
What do you want, mate?
Really
that's a good one.
Off.
Yeah.
So not all the time, but definitely most of the time, aim for a hook.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, Leon's face is the hook. I see Leon's face and I'm like, I've got to watch this.
That's it. I'm drooling. I'm watching.
Not even looking at. I'm just looking at the top half of the video the whole time.
Mate, Chris, you're saying about show your missus the photo, the video, the camera, mate. No chance, mate. Nah, fuck. Come on, calling me, man. I'm sick of seeing you.
My teenage daughter, she's like, get it off.
You get too sidetracked. She just sees you and just.
I'm burning everyone here, man. The kids are turning vegetarian. My missus has gone back to being a vegetarian.
Oh, mate, yeah.
When the kids come home and say, "Oh, what? We're having brisket again," like I failed as a father.
Kids still want pork belly every night.
That's why I just cook. Cook pork belly, man. All my son. It doesn't matter what I cook. I'll be cooking a rack of beef short ribs. He thinks it's pork belly. Oh, Dad, pork belly's not. Pork belly, man. Don't matter.
And your son's 18.
No.
17.
Corey, Leo, before we sort of go away from the content creation thing, talk us through. I mean, I know the story, but tell us a little bit about your content creation cycle, as in like when you cook, how many cooks you do. It's pretty epic.
So we try and at least do almost 4 videos a week.
Fridays we try and just push as much out as we can. 4 is ideal, but to be honest, unless we're really, really organized, 3, we've had come in planning on doing 4. We get 3 out. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon. You sort of cut your losses. And
then we might come back on Saturday and shoot the 4th one. So
4's a good day.
Tuesday night. So it all comes down. We both got busy lives. We both, we've got the kids, the run around.
Leon still works 4 days a week, so we're juggling it around that as well. So that in itself is.
So for us, time is almost like the precious thing now. So like once we get off this chat, we got to go and do all our shopping for all our cooks tomorrow. We've got a content.
We got to trim, then we got to trim everything up.
Yeah. Tonight. So for us, almost we just can't afford to waste a minute. But again, like you said, like Aaron was saying, when you've done it for so long, you almost like we used to sit down, write a schedule, what we're going to do. Now it's almost like it's just second nature. We know what we're going to get, what we're going to do, when we're going to do it, and just bang it out. Our biggest issue is people know we cook on a Friday, so we get always randoms rocking up. What's for lunch, what are you eating? And
if I was living in Perth, I'd be there.
You know what I mean? So it's sort of like, we've got a good neighbour, and again, here's another one. We always, whenever we've got leftovers, we bring it over. But that's our biggest thing for us is the time. We've got that. Whatever we do, we make sure it's just all about the quality. We just get it in, bang it out, and while something's cooking, like when we're doing a video, if it's in the oven or in the smoker, we're doing something else. We'll go shopping, or we just can't waste time at the moment.
Or you try and time those cooks, so you might have 2 longer cooks. They go in, then you've got 2, hour and a half cooks, so you can finish them while the other thing's still cooking. And that in itself is a juggle, but you sort of get used to just instinctually knowing how that flows.
And then the editing, like Corey has become such a whiz at it. Like he can edit a video within like half an hour, sort of thing. So again, it's just all about time, because last thing you want to do is be finishing off at say 11 o'clock at night, go home and edit for another 3 hours. If you can edit in half an hour, get it done, put it in the Dropbox, and go to bed. You're just conquering it. You're winning it, and that's what it's all about.
And like that as well, we've got content agreements in place that we've got to do X amount of videos a month. So it doesn't matter what else is going on in our life. We've got to do those. So we've almost finished Christmas now, but we're going away in January for a weekend. So we've pretty much got to shoot all of January's before that. Otherwise, I'm going to have people see me up as well. So that in itself, it's a stress. But once it's done, then you sort of don't.
Like we went to Sydney for a couple of days, and we walked around in the harbour for like 14 hours looking for a kebab. We are still beyond schedule for that night. Biggest waste of time of my life.
We'll never forget that.
Sydney shit, man. Sydney shit. Like the nightlife. I don't know what happened, bro. You came, they closed.
Yeah, anyway. So the question was basically we try and do at least 4 videos a week, plus our normal stuff, and then whatever we're cooking on top of. So for our gig sort of thing. So this time of the year, the last 2 months is hectic in this time of the year. But again, I feel like the last 2 years, I feel like
busier and busier.
Yeah, like you almost blink and it's just moving that fast. So we're still trying to almost like I don't know, you almost want to sit back and start enjoying it, but you just can't. We just don't have the luxury of doing it at the moment.
It's tough when you're the face too, right? Like you've got to be in it doing it, and you got the one. Obviously, Corey, you're doing the editing, so you got to do it.
Well, just before we try and like almost not step back from, but it's getting to the point where I think we had this discussion at Meatstock. Yeah. Like we need almost someone else on board, so me and him can have a bit more fun on camera and build personality behind the brand more than me holding the lens.
See the banter, you don't really get to see the banter of us on the phone, whereas we almost
that's the best part, mate.
Set a camera up over my shoulder and watching Corey's reaction, because let's be honest, I do and say a lot of stupid things, but it's his reaction, his face, our banter is and that's where the passion is so easy, because we're having fun, and it's because all of a sudden we don't get sick of each other. We don't
have a choice anyway.
We lived 8 weeks together in Melbourne in an apartment sort of thing, and we thought, if this is not going to break us, nothing sort of thing.
That's unreal, and I sort of see that that bond you guys have. It's really nice to.
You don't see much of it, but you need to see more.
In person, definitely in person. When I met you at Meatstock, it was cool to get the story and see you guys in action.
The food's all right as well. It tastes okay.
Oh, is it?
When would you tasted
He
samba?
had our fish. He had our fish.
Oh, the fish, yeah.
Yeah, I had the toothfish.
Oh,
and
that
the
was
prawns.
amazing.
Prawns.
And the best thing about it, all we did was sprinkle salt on it.
It's all in the sprinkle. It's all in the sprinkle.
What did you do to it, man? What did you do to it? Just salt, bro. Just
like pork belly, just salt.
no salt on pork belly, bro. But it's okay.
So I guess the next thing we'll sort of start talking about is monetization. So because of all Chris's comments and swearing, this is going to be a demonetized video, but for monetization,
thanks, Chris.
How does someone achieve that? What have you guys put in place to help with monetization? So if someone's interested in sort of going down this path, what would you recommend?
I think Aaron's all about
Aaron,
someone else can jump in.
Since you're there falling asleep, we're boring you.
He's half an hour behind us.
That's
normal anyway.
That's why YouTube's really good because you get paid by the views you get. Basically, I get a lot of questions. How do you earn money on YouTube? But yeah, it all comes down to the views you get and the ads that YouTube put on there. And then obviously you can branch that off to different things. I use YouTube as a platform to showcase my rubs, which is another revenue stream. Obviously, it leads to sponsorship agreements as well, which we're all familiar with. Instagram are just bringing in subscriptions as well, so you can launch them. And I don't think everyone's got access to it. For whatever reason, I was chosen, and people can pay a monthly subscription to that.
This guy always gets upgraded, bro. Anything comes out new, this guy gets it first.
Idea. Yeah.
Mr. Upgrade, Aaron Upgrade, Lone Slow Basics. That's his name, bro.
I'm just waiting for him to come on
TikTok. I'm not massive on TikTok. I don't really spend a lot of time on TikTok. But obviously the lives, you can earn a bit of money on there. But yeah, there's lots of different ways you can do it. Lots of different ways. And that's the beauty of this episode is we're all earning income off of essentially barbecue and cooking in a lot of different ways.
Yeah. No, I'll go to you, John. I mean, with I guess income, because obviously fundamentally you're selling your rubs and things like that. Is there and I think your knives as well. Is that something is that purely is that why you started cooking, or was that you went, hey, I could do a rub and I can sell this? Which came first for you?
Cooking came first, and I guess the byproduct of that was people were asking about certain things, how I was cooking them, what seasoning I was using. And like for the rub part of my business, that actually came from me missing a deployment to Afghanistan, right? So I trained it was about 7 months. So it's like a deployment before the deployment. It's long hours, long period of time. Anyway, long story short, my particular position got cut from going to Afghanistan 3 days out, and I was devastated. The amount of time, physical, mental that you invest into just getting yourself prepped ready for that is huge. And I had a lot of notes down for different seasonings and stuff. And Anne-Marie, my missus or Mrs. Q, said to me, hey, why don't you, now that you've got this spare time, even though I'm still going to work every day, you're not going to Afghanistan now, why don't you start selling the rubs? This is probably about 2 years ago, almost far out, to be close to the day, about 2 years ago. And that's when I actually released those rubs. So that was a byproduct of my passion for cooking and all that sort of stuff. And that's where it stemmed into the rubs and the knives from there.
I think, and I find it, I love seeing this panel because there's, obviously you're Corey and Leon cooking some amazing stuff, producing content for people, which is one stream of my income stream. And then you're obviously on top of that, creating, obviously you sort of managing social media as well. Like it just comes down to how much you push, I find, in this stuff. I think it's just like, where do you want to go and what do you want to do? And how do you want to use the time you're spending on this? And Corey, I mean, you guys, Corey and Leon, you guys are doing pretty well in the sense, obviously, you've got that ability to obviously create content, produce content, and then, and sell your rubs as well. And how are the rubs going? Because I haven't had to try them myself recently, but at Law, but how's that going? Because I haven't seen that being pushed as much recently.
They're just churning away, but yeah, that's more us. I guess a bit of onus on us to start pushing it a bit more. We're working on extending that range as well, which was ideally going to be before Christmas. But yeah, it's, as most of you know, it's a bit of a slow process from that standpoint as well. You got minimum quantities you've got to do, which so it's, to an extent, unless you're doing it yourself, it's a pretty big outlay initially to release that range. But yeah, that's just, that's not a long-term make a dollar quick thing. That's a short-term thing. That's a long-term thing that you slowly build over time. content, to be honest, is still our bread and butter. Ideally, working with brands that you can work with long term. Than we're very not we pick and choose, but I'd much rather work with a brand for a year or a 6-month period or even a long term campaign than just do one video paid content gig site. It builds more value for whatever that business is. It builds a bit more of an organic, I guess, appreciation from our audience as well than just banging up, sort of one thing and then no one ever sees it again. Social media side of it is obviously, that management side as well. We were growing a big following on Instagram. There's it's almost the back, like you've got us who, started with no money, obviously growing a large audience and growing a brand, I guess, behind that. And then you've got businesses from a producer standpoint that have a lot of money there, but they haven't driven that brand awareness behind it. So you still have producers that don't see value in that standpoint, which is fine. That's fine as well. But then you do have people, especially now COVID sort of settled down, that are trying to jump on that marketing standpoint and pushing their brand on socials as well.
That's it. Good. And Chris, yourself, man, are you? I mean, I'm not. I mean, are you? Is this converting to anything from financial sense for you, or are you just eating a lot of pork belly?
Yeah, I'm eating heaps of pork belly. I'm still happily married. I think that's, you got to keep things in perspective. No, I mean, for me, financially, it's not really something that's motivated me. I don't produce content to make money. It's never been, any part of my mission. But coincidentally, you do get these opportunities that arise. And, I probably started saying yes more lately.
That's awesome.
I've said no to a lot of brands, only because, if it doesn't resonate with me, or I don't agree with the brand, or I don't like the product, I'm not going to share it to my followers. I think, you have to sort of realize where you are, why you got to where you are, and for me, a lot of it, and I'm sure a lot of the other guys will say the same, it's about authenticity. People know that, if I'm saying, I'm using this rub because I love it, they know that I love it. It's not because I'm getting paid to say that I love it. So that's huge for me. But I've started doing more user-generated content for other brands. So hopefully you'll see more of that in 2023.
Awesome, mate.
I started doing more affiliate marketing. So obviously, the beauty about creating content is a lot of people do comment on your posts. They want to know what products you're using. So I've started making commission on those products. So, if I can sell those products, start making commission on that. I've just started with that actually, but in the first sort of week, it's been amazing. Never realized the opportunity or the potential in that alone. And I've done a few pieces sponsored posts. Obviously, I work quite closely with my butcher Lagano Gourmet Meats. I work quite closely with my knife guy at Chef Supply Co. They've been very generous. So we do a few paid pieces. I'm looking at managing some of their socials as well. So it's coming a little bit more full circle for me. And as I sort of grow my base, I'll look to monetize more, over the coming year in different things, whether it's merch, rubs, accessories, branded type products, so forth. But the point is having the potential, right? Having that opportunity to monetize, and then knowing how to actually go about and execute that monetization strategy.
Get that YouTube revenue soon, Chris.
What's that?
You'll get that YouTube revenue the way you're going soon.
Well, I mean, I've had bonuses. I've had bonuses from TikTok. I've had bonuses from YouTube. 2 monthly bonuses from YouTube just on views, based on number of views. I don't know. They don't really tell you much. Say you're doing a great job, we're sending you money. Okay.
The shorts is a bit different, but you're killing it on the shorts there.
Yeah, I've done all right on shorts. It's been surprising actually, YouTube. I've sort of hammered it hard over the past sort of 4 to 5 months. Aaron, as everyone probably knows, is my mentor, especially on YouTube. Sort of instilled
It's a shorts. I suck on shorts.
Yeah, but he tells me everything that he does, and I do the opposite, so I'm very successful. Right.
And I think, I mean, probably the key takeaway from what everyone said is like, there's no one way to monetize. I think if you're in this realm, like there is the money. And obviously, you can make money through the platforms. You can make money through creating your own products and your brand and things like that. Or you can manage people's socials. You can create content for other people. So there's multiple different ways you can monetize. I think that's probably the key takeaway, because there's a lot of people might sit there, especially in the YouTube world too, Aaron, where they're probably going, I need 1,000 followers. I need, 7 million hours of views before anyone, if I make money, sort of thing. So it's one of those things. I think you just got to keep working. And especially if you love it, right? If you love what you're doing, just keep working. And I mean, that's kind of, I think the only way you can keep going. And I mean, look at you boys here. They're just absolutely smashing it, right? Absolutely.
And I think a good tip as well is, depending on who reaches out to you, it also depends on, what your follower base is to an extent, but really I reckon it doesn't as well, but is to stand firm on, A, don't do contra stuff, and B, like whatever brief they've given you, whatever that is, almost have in there that you sort of have a bit more creative freedom to shoot how you've shot than them trying to dictate how you shoot things. And, a brand's got to be set in the first 3 seconds or whatever that is. Try and stick to and stand your ground on that stuff, because that's exactly what Chris has said. That's how you've built up an authenticity with your audience. So stick firm to, like, this is how I'm going to do it, whether that's got to be an adjustment on a brief, but I'm going to do it this way. This is my style. We get creative freedom on what we do. Take it or leave it. Like, you've got to sort of be a bit more firm on that these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
We weren't like that early on, whereas now, yearly agreements come in place. You sort of learn that you can dictate that side of it as well.
Yeah.
I sort of want to go around the room and ask the question: if you were starting a new account today, what platform would you do it on, and sort of what tips would you give someone who's just starting out? So we'll start with we'll go with Aaron. We'll work our way around. Where would you start? And
probably like YouTube, because I've got the best of both worlds. Obviously, they're the OG long form platform, and then they're really going to be going hard with shorts in 2023. So Chris is a good example. He has propelled on YouTube in a very short amount of time. Out of, I think, 40 videos, Chris, you've got over 20-something thousand subs, and everyone knows how hard that is to achieve on YouTube.
That's ridiculous.
And then you can also get some really good results with your long form stuff, especially if you get into those high ranking search terms. So for me personally, it would be YouTube.
And Chris, where would you start?
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, obviously, the lure of YouTube is the monetization aspect, and no other platform has it embedded like YouTube. So, from an Australian perspective, that is, it's hard not to go past TikTok. The growth is explosive on TikTok. If you get it right on TikTok, you can really, really change, especially if you have a business. If you have a business on TikTok, oh my God, you've seen your success stories. So yeah, I definitely look at that. If you're on Instagram, let me just say this. If you're on Instagram and you're in an engagement pod or an engagement group, I have nothing against that sort of concept about like-minded people. But if you are a creator that wants to grow, you need to get out of that group, okay? That is going to do nothing for you. It is seriously going to hold you back. Don't buy followers, okay? As a content creator, don't buy followers, because, every business, I get DMs every day about buying followers, quality this, quality that. It's not about that, all right? It's not authentic. Authenticity is what is going to give you the growth. So, yeah.
And John, where would you sort of start?
Short and sweet. So, firstly, pick the platform that you love the most. The reason for that is you're going to understand the platform more. You've consumed probably a metric shit ton of content. You know what's going to work. You obviously see what gets the views or the engagement, etc. So that's the first part. Pick the platform that you enjoy the most. Second to that, probably TikTok. Like Chris said, the growth capacity or capability on there is huge at the moment. Like I said previously, you can go from 5 30-second videos right up to 10. There's just so many different things that's sort of working well for TikTok. And for me personally, I watch most content on my phone, right, and I hold it that way. And that's obviously vertical, and that's the way that TikTok runs. So that's my 2 cents on that.
And Corey and Leon?
Facebook for sure.
All right.
I like it. Good call.
MySpace.
Just
I think
MySpace.
Still Chris.
I love it.
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, I think. Yeah.
I think if we could go back and start again,
With a man.
not on Facebook. I think if we could go back and start again, I wish we would have started on YouTube. But yeah, it's the beauty of the beast, I guess. And it's I don't know, it's hard. And a lot of people have asked us. We sort of dabbled in it a little bit, and until you build up that consistency and build up that subscriber list, it's that hard thing of not getting that quick, I guess, fix. Back where you're not getting that good incentive there. So I mean, it's hard. Same thing. Depending on what you're cooking, you might be able to dial in a YouTube cook in 2 or 3 hours. But yeah, some of the ones we did early on, they were taking us all day to film. So it's like you get one video done, and we did like a lamb crown roast or something, but it took 5-6 hours to do in between shooting it all, and everything's got to be crisp. So we started cooking that in the early afternoon, and then when we were finished the cook, it was pitch black, and it was like, well, how the hell do I shoot this now when it's freaking dark outside? So YouTube is probably the best from like a monetization standpoint, but it's also hard slog early on because you're not getting that quick fix like feedback as well. You've got to put in the hard yards.
That's why Aaron does it so well, because his long form content on YouTube is pretty slick. Do you know what I mean? Like I've been having a crack at long form. I've done 2 videos. I've shot probably 20 for long form, and I've only posted 2 because the rest is shit. They're so shit. And it just sort of highlights it's a structure, and kudos to Aaron, man. Far out, bro. It's crazy.
Absolutely. And I mean, probably the key one, another takeaway for this particular question would be follow these boys, see what they're doing. Aaron's doing amazing stuff on YouTube. Watch the way he's doing it. Watch the way he's like how he's creating the video. Because I mean, Aaron, you probably agree, it's not rocket surgery, but I mean, you've done the hard yards to learn the algorithms and all that. But fundamentally, creating what you're creating isn't exactly the hardest thing in the world, but it's just a matter of being consistent, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, consistency is key. And again, the other thing I love about YouTube is there's so many tutorials on what makes a good video in YouTube, like how important your title, your tags, your description, your thumbnails. There's so much information as to what makes a successful video, which is starting to come out now on TikTok and Instagram, but not to the level that YouTube is on. If you want to create a YouTube account and start that, you'll be able to pick up so much good information and start producing some really good quality videos if you do enough research beforehand, as opposed to getting on the other platforms and sort of figuring it out, doing a lot of trial and error as you go, unless you're sort of drawing inspiration from people like Corey and Leon and John and Chris and a lot of the other great creators in Australia and all around the world.
Absolutely. I think that's the key thing is like, I think learning and continue to do it. I think it's like low and slow barbecue, right? You're gonna make a whole bunch of shitty barbecue over the years before you get good barbecue. It's like that with reels. It's like that with video and content. Chris, you probably have, you're saying that like all your early videos and stuff. You're like they were, they're just crap. But you kept working on it, and now you've got a format. And it just takes that practice. So I think that's probably the big one to take away is like, if you do want to get into it, you just got to stick to it and make sure that you just be consistent and keep at it.
Don't compare yourself to others. Like comparison is the thief of joy. Don't compare. If you set your standards 100%. Too high, you're never going to put any video out. Like Chris, you should probably just put your videos out, because if you keep setting the bar too high, it might take you 6-12 months to sort of get to that level, and then by the time you get there, the game would have changed again. So you just got to get the content out there, be 90% happy with it, continue to make each bit of content better than the last, and you'll get there in no time.
No, absolutely. Now, gents, we know that Corey and Leon have to go buy a whole bunch of products for tomorrow.
We got to go and get cheeseburger spring rolls.
They've got to go.
So let's, yeah, it's still business.
Before we can start posting some shorts. What do you reckon?
So before we let you guys go, where can people find you? So maybe I'll start with you, John. Where you said you love TikTok. What's the best place to find you, and what's your TikTok handle?
_Q BBQ, and that's the same with Instagram. I'm on YouTube, Facebook. Everyone loves Facebook, right? Isn't that what we've been talking about pretty much the entire video? So go hit me up on Facebook.
I'll edit it, so I'll change all the words to Facebook.
Yeah, exactly right. But yeah, TikTok and Instagram, they're probably the two that that you find me sort of lurking around the most, to be honest. Yeah.
Cool. No, awesome, mate. No worries. I will just grab that link and pop it into the chats as well, so that people it hits all the different areas. Chris, how about you, mate? What's your best? What's the best place to find you?
You're on mute there, Chris.
Oh man, always one. There's always
one.
Unmute your mic, Chris.
He doesn't want to advertise. He's that popular. Everyone should follow him already.
Relax.
We're all just ripping him.
All right, yeah.
Teas deep.
IG, TikTok, YouTube. Search the Smoker Baker. I'm that handle on all my platforms except the Instagram.
All right, mate. That's awesome. And look, and from an engagement point of view, don't message you on Facebook Messenger. That was what you were saying, yeah?
Right. Yeah, if you don't want to get a reply message on Facebook Messenger from 9 to 3.
I love it. We're still not going. This is not going to go very far on the Facebook. That's fine. And Corey Leon, what's your if you
IG, TikTok,
TikTok, internet, cheap meats,
email, LinkedIn, smoke signal. Very easy.
Smoke signal. Yeah. I love with the smoke signals. You can really see the pork belly. You just like you see it. It's really good. And low and slow basics, I think it's pretty simple. Just low and slow basics on the YouTubes.
On everything.
Yeah, YouTube,
on everything.
TikTok, Instagram, and then
Twitch.
Facebook, I guess, as well.
Twitch, Snapchat,
OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't say that word, can you?
You would dominate it, Aaron. You would go and dominate
it. Have you told them about your channel? I didn't tell them. I didn't say nothing.
Exclusive. Hang on.
I said nothing about OnlyFans.
I can see that shirt unbuttoning.
I think this is going to get very squashed because I don't even think you can say that word anymore.
To
promote it.
You know what? Pro tip to anyone watching: don't do interviews.
Trim this
YouTube.
bit out.
They just don't work.
No.
just a pro tip there.
Oh god.
Are we having a catch up at Meat Stock anywhere next year or what?
100%. We're going to all of them.
Sydney.
We'll do Sydney again and try and find
Did
it.
you say not Sydney? I'll make you a kebab myself.
What is it? Townsville will be good.
Yeah, let's go. Toowoomba.
Toowoomba's good.
Toowoomba
was too short though, mate.
You can jump on a
day and a
ball.
half.
Do you want to do Toowoomba? Are we making a pact here where we're going to be?
What happens?
He's going to Meat Stock.
Maybe we'll do all of them.
We'll be at all of them. So I'll see whichever one you're at.
Toowoomba.
Absolutely Toowoomba. Let's do Toowoomba.
The one out of the lot is Toowoomba. Go to Toowoomba.
We need to twist Jay's arm and do like a creator stage or something.
Yeah, we do. We talked about this.
Paul Drive Show does it. I reckon we got to twist his arm and do a creator stage.
No, I'll low key email him.
It's a good idea.
That'd be great. I mean, it's hopefully there's some stage on the war stage, and we'll go there. But anyway, we'll move on from there. Now, I think Mark, you had one last question for everyone.
It's the one we always ask everybody. Who inspires you? Who should we all follow? I know you're all going to say Chris, but besides Chris, who else do we all follow on other networks? So I'll start with Corey Leon. Who inspires you?
Gordon Ramsay inspires us.
Yeah, the swearing or just
yeah.
Oh no, we didn't mention Gordon. Oh no!
How many times have you had a roasting? You've had a roasting twice. You've had a roasting twice.
We might get one off the post today as well. We'll see.
That suckling pig, the suckling pig with the with the pork lollipops on
the
top.
porchetta with the loins in it. Yeah, that was a good one. That one.
The trick is just get any other protein and wrap it in pork belly, and then just hit it in the oven at like 220 for an hour and a half, and you're good.
Oh, mate.
Drop it down to 160 for another half an hour, and it's success. The hit rate 1,000.
It's a tip for any creator starting out.
Yeah.
Just wrap it in pork belly.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Yeah.
And Aaron, who
awesome.
inspires you?
Sorry?
Who inspires you?
Oh.
Who do you think we should follow?
Early on, and still a little bit lately, I drew a lot of inspiration from Malcolm Reed, the OG in America.
Like Leon.
I love listening to him talk. It just
How to barbecue, right? Yeah.
Oh, so good, so good.
Let's get to cooking.
It's like an Italian Malcolm Reed. I love it.
And Chris, who do you think we should all be
yeah,
following?
like I'm gonna have a crack at this, man. No one really sort of let me have a crack. So
here we go.
Take a seat, everyone.
No, when I first started on IG, I used to follow, and I still follow, Meet the Cook, and I know a lot of people might not know these names, but sort of smaller creators. Meet the Cook definitely inspired me in terms of like what he did, and sort of just got my feet wet in terms of doing videos. And then Chuck Matteo, man, Chuck's Flavor Train. Yeah, he's sick, man. Like his enthusiasm and the way he sort of commentates over his videos, the energy. It's exciting to watch. It's comical and it's delicious at the same time. And then more local, you've got the Grill Sisters, man. So come grill with me, Irene, and her sister Desi, Healthy Cook for Champions. So watch them like when I started IG, and man, like I used to even follow them. Like when they posted, I posted. I watch their videos. Their 30-second videos, I do a 30-second video. So that's how you got to start, guys. Like I think we said it before: is find a creator that you sort of associate a style with, and who you think knows what they're doing. When they post, you post, right? If they do a 30-second video, you do a 30-second video. If they cooking beef, you cook beef. All right, that's it.
Desi and Irene cook way too much seafood. I can't afford the amount of seafood they cook.
I know, and it's
crazy,
seafood, man. Oh my god,
it's so good, so
it's
good.
something you haven't seen. Yeah.
Oh, we lost Aaron.
Oh god. Bye.
We're running out of time.
We had it on the phone.
Come on, bro. Pay your bills,
all the
man.
memory we have.
Bills, these creators, they come and they bills.
Too much time.
What do you mean? He's
no, he's not monetizing.
Like the power's gone off at Adelaide.
It's Adelaide, man. Go easy on them.
Is my audio still there?
Yeah. Solar kicked in. The generator's kicked in.
Well, it's because I'm talking, right? It's because I'm talking.
Yeah, that's the wrap
Had a
up.
quick nut.
Don't be so rude, bro.
Sorry, I had to switch to the laptop camera. I think my other camera went dead.
All good, mate.
Lucky last, John. Who do you reckon we should be following?
Parters. More recently, Chebo is a burger guy, and Andy Cooks. They're like probably been around for a couple of years, and that's because I communicate with them like a shitload, like off air and stuff. But I'll be brutally honest, and I know I'm not giving all four of his a reach around, but all these guys here I watched like multiple times and do it on a daily. So yes, I don't know if you got what I just said there, but no,
massive circle jerk.
These three channels, yes, 100%.
And
that's honest. That's honestly. So yeah, follow those 5 in total.
Sorry, Aaron, you're on a video that's probably going to get taken down, mate. I apologize for that.
You two guys.
Strike one.
Man. All right, guys, we can't. Let's keep it. Let's keep PG for the rest of the show.
Bullshit.
And Corey, did you ask Corey on? I missed that. Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, he said Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah. Look, same. When we probably first started, ours was more like the OGs of American barbecue smoking. I got a lot of my inspiration from those boys.
Matt, I think I said this when you asked me at the
Myron Mix and all those sort of guys. I just love that sort of
meat stock as well. Like Max the meat guy, like he changed
he's so good.
the way I shot my content. But he takes it to another level altogether. Like between him and his sister, the way they shoot,
keep adapting,
the way they edit, between Max the Meat Guy, the way Andy cooks, shoots his stuff, edits his stuff, mate. There's definitely a lot of stuff to be learned from those guys. So and the best way to learn it is by watching it and having a go. Like it's one thing to sit there and watch it and go, maybe I should film it this way. But until you put that camera or phone in your hand, something doesn't sit right. You've got to learn to naturally sort of find ways how they do that and then do it at your own style as well. But that's when you asked me at Meat Stock. Max the Meat Guy, mate, he changed the way cooking was shot.
I got to do a shout out for Jay Beaumont's videos as well.
Oh, yeah, and him as well, mate. Yeah,
watch his videos. Oh, mate. Oh, unreal. Jay Beaumont from who?
I was just watching the Tuffy Stone videos that he's been doing. He's been doing the Tuffy Stone ones, hasn't he?
Yeah, that old man.
Yeah, no, he's unreal. He's unreal. Now, gents, it's been amazing to get you all here, and appreciate your time, especially sharing all that insights and things like that. And look, thank you so much for coming on, and appreciate it. And I suppose this is farewell. And
Merry Christmas.
Look, I haven't had Merry Christmas, all the Happy New Year, and can't wait to see all of you at Meat Stock, which I'm sure we'll see you at one or two of them around the country. So looking forward to that. And let's hopefully try and get that panel going. That's a great idea. I forgot about that one.
Stage, mate.
Creator stage. I love it. We'll get a little shed out the back somewhere. It's like, you guys can go over there. But thanks heaps, guys. Now the exit's really weird because I got to remove 4 of you. But thanks heaps, Aaron. I'm gonna first come off the rank.
Look
after yourself, mate. Talk to you soon.
Later.
Happy New Year. Stay safe. Talk soon.
See you in February.
See you later, mate. See ya.
See ya.
Chris, I'm not going in any particular order, but thanks for coming, mate, and appreciate it, man. And look, keep those pork bellies coming. We need more pork belly.
I will, man. Don't you worry. Don't worry. Don't worry about Corey and Leon.
Bang, just bang. I love it, Just bang.
That was not deliberate.
Let's be honest, he doesn't shut up,
John, mate, it's good to have you too, mate. I appreciate you coming on. We'll catch up hopefully in Toowoomba. I'm sure. I think we met there this year now, and we'll catch you hopefully next year as well, mate. Look after yourself, and looking forward to seeing more of the TikToks.
Bang it in.
There it is.
I was waiting for it.
I gotta let you guys last because you were hidden last. So thanks for coming, gents. I know you guys have a lot of work. Good luck with tomorrow's cook, and looking forward to seeing it. And thanks for the inspiration too. You guys do some crazy, amazing stuff. So
just keep doing what we're doing.
That's it, mate. That's the way to go. And we'll talk to you soon.
Yep.
Peace out.
See you, boys.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was the influences, which is definitely going to get taken down. So just watch out for that space.
Enjoy watching it live because it won't be there soon.
That's it. Obviously, that was Chris the Smoker Baker, John from Aussie Q Barbecue, Aaron from Low and Slay Basics, and Corey and Leon from Cheap Meats. Great to have them on and great insights. Watch it back. There's some great tips in there as well. I think consistency, Mark, and practice and learning was probably the big key takeaway from those ones, mate. Now we're taking a break. Last show for the season. So we're probably back, I'm going to say mid-Feb at this stage. Nothing quite planned yet, but generally once we get started, it kicks on pretty quick. But we should get on a few weeks before Meat Stock, I reckon.
There'll be a lot of rolling into Meat Stock and some big events at Meat Stock. Look forward to come and see us for all the different ones. It's going to be great. Another good year.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so we're going to be at all the Meat Stocks, which is going to be great, and just on stage doing some stuff as well. But at the same time, good too, mate. Mark, thanks heaps, mate, for the season. I'm not sure what season we are, but just for this current season. And we will see you and see everyone. Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, and see you all next year.
See you guys.
Bye.